The monkey waters of politics. Yesterday President William Ruto and one Honorable Raila Odinga, the ODM party leader, proved to the whole country that they are ready to forge an alliance that will go beyond 2027. But that alliance and that meeting that was yesterday held in Karen was ended up abruptly after what is termed as defiance voices of ODM and Kenya Kwanza MPs who currently don't believe that the alliance between William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga can work beyond 2027. Now, when it comes to the implementation of the 10-point agenda, which is the whole, it's the whole narrative that is based surrounding this government or the broad-based government between President William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. Now we are seeing some certain defiance voices of former allies of President William Ruto speaking on the said implementation of things like the NADCO report and the said one the 10-point agenda. Remember, President William Ruto a few days ago appointed 5 principles to make sure that the implementation of the NADCO report and the 10-point agenda is seen through. But what does one Moses Kuria have to say? Now, the former cabinet secretary Moses Kuria has criticized the National Dialogue Committee NADCO process, warning that it risks collapsing just like the Building Bridges Initiative, the BBI, which was an whole ideology that was built by President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga back in the year 2021 and in the year 2022. Now let's speak about the politics of the day. In a statement on Tuesday, Kuria said that he had initially hoped that the process would pave the way for a national referendum, possibly as a seventh ballot during 2027 general election. I was clinging to the hope that the NADCO process will culminate in a referendum, most likely as the seventh ballot during the 2027 general election, Kuria said. Now, his remarks come a day after President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga jointly addressed a parliamentary group meeting in Nairobi where they rallied lawmakers behind the NADCO report framework. The former CS also accused President William Ruto's United Democratic Alliance Party, the UDA, and Raila's ODM, Orange Democratic Movement Party, of turning what could have been a historic reform process into a partisan arrangement. A partisan dialogue or a partisan arrangement is an agreement between the two people, that is President William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. And they are the both parties that will benefit from this, not the normal mwananchi. That is what Kuria is currently throwing at us. Now, suddenly, what I saw yesterday was an otherwise promising national movement being reduced to a dowry paid by UDA to ODM. Not even other constituent parties in both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza were consulted, he added. Now, Kuria likened the current development to previous failed political settlements, particularly the BBI, cautioning the NADCO risks a similar fate. We are treading on a trodden path, littered with corpses like the BBI. The last chapter of NADCO will be a replica of BBI, he stated. Now, the Building Bridges Initiative, BBI, was a political process in Kenya that began after the March 2018 handshake between Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Amolo Odinga. The handshake came after months of political tension and protest following the disputed 2017 presidential elections. The two leaders said they wanted to heal the country and unite Kenyans by addressing long-standing processes such as election violence, corruption, tribalism, and exclusion from power. To do this, they formed the BBI task force, later turned it into a steering committee which gathered views from citizens and came up with a report, the BBI report, which recommended wide-ranging reforms, including changes in the Constitution of Kenya. The process whatsoever declared unconstitutional by the court, and more so, President William Ruto, then as a deputy president and the leader of the United Democratic Alliance, with all opposition then called the Tanga Tanga movement, all rallied behind fighting the BBI. And that is what Moses Kuria tells us. I mean, we all have to agree one thing. If there is one report that meant what is best for this republic, was the BBI. President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga, if they had a chance to implement the BBI, then a lot of things would have changed for this country. A lot of things. I mean, these cries and all the innuendos that we are currently going through in this republic would have been nabbed if the BBI was to go through. But that failed. Now, let's come back to looking at the NADCO report. You know, the NADCO report is supposed to put some certain things in order. And the certain things in order includes there is one thing that you must understand. Raila Amolo Odinga and co, they always find a chance to eat from the government. To siphon resources from the government. And allow me to tell you, the recent ODM and UDA meeting that happened yesterday in Karen, it was not for the benefit of the normal mwananchi. There is one thing what Raila Amolo Odinga is high. And let me dare tell you, the proposal that was brought forward by Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga on the intergeneration conclave. Remember that intergeneration conclave, which has been a conversation that has been ongoing for some few days right now, all over the 254. That is the whole ideology that Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto wanted to sail through yesterday. It was not about the NADCO report and the 10-point agenda. It was not about the implementation of the side MOU between Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto. No. Because if it was, then what happened wouldn't have happened. Because we saw that members of parliament yesterday walked out of Raila Amolo Odinga the moment he started addressing the said meeting. And remember, one thing has been happening, by the way. When Raila Amolo Odinga stood to talk, some members of the UDA party walked out. And when Professor Abraham Kedure Kindiki, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, took the stage to address the nation on the said matter that was supposed to be spoken about yesterday, the NADCO report and the relationship between ODM and UDA, ODM members of parliament walked out on Kedure Kindiki. What a tragic thing that happened yesterday. I dare say. It's about time Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto realizes that not everybody is going to buy into their ideology. The generation conclave that is supposed to happen. It is not going just to be a conversation that, you will force down our threat and we accept it. Because you know what? The intergeneration conclave dialogue, it's not supposed to address matters of anybody else. This is a generation conclave meeting that is supposed to buy the vote, or trick the Gen Zs into believing that the William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga government means what is best for them, and this will influence them to vote for William Ruto beyond 2027. Because allow me to tell you this without fear of contradiction. William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga are going to work together beyond 2027. Raila Amolo Odinga will say Ruto Tosha in 2027. That I dare tell you, you can take it to the bank and cash on it. And one thing that you should understand right now, the Gen Zs are not a movement that is for sale. The trickery of the way these people are playing out their politics, I don't think we as the Gen Zs are so gullible to a point that we'll fall into the trap of the intergeneration conclave dialogue, and then we find ourselves on the ballot papers voting for William Ruto. Because William Ruto, Raila Amolo Odinga, let me tell you even the reason why Kedore Kindiki was heckled yesterday. What led to the heckling of Kedore Kindiki? This was a planned thing. Because the ODM MPs wants to prove to William Ruto that, you know what, Kithure Kindiki is not fit for the position of being the deputy presidential candidate. Who is fit for this role? We bring to you none other than Gladys Wanga. And that is why the suggestions that I have been telling you day in, day out, William Ruto in 2027 might go into the ballot papers with Gladys Wanga as the running mate of President William Ruto. And that is why, and that is the point that ODM members are trying to push across when they heckle Kithure Kindiki or when they walk out on the meetings of Kithure Kindiki, to ensure that William Ruto sees that Kithure Kindiki is not a recommendable running mate for him in the year 2027. Leave your comment on the comment section.